My name is Matt Crowley, and I am a product specialist here at Atlas Copco. In today's video, we're going to take a look at connecting our BCV-RE and our BCP-RE tools to a PF6000. So before we jump into the actual software elements of this, the first thing we have to do is make sure our tools are in pairing mode. So it's a little bit different for each tool, but regardless, it's fairly simple. For the BCV-RE, you want to hold the trigger and then just simply put the battery on and keep holding the trigger until the green light flashes. It's a little similar for the BCP-RE, but still a little bit different. For the BCP-RE, to put it into pairing mode, you have to make sure your trigger is in the forward direction. Then you hold down the trigger and you pop the battery on and you hold the trigger for a few seconds until we get a green flashing light on the top. And then once again, this verifies the tool is in pairing mode and ready to be configured and set up. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the loader itself and get this started. Once we are in the BCP and the BCV loader, the first thing we need to do is click on the System tab. And once we are on the System tab, the next thing we'd like to do is click Read From Tool. And once you select Read From Tool, it will populate all of this tool information. And we first should verify a couple of things. First, let's verify that we actually have the correct tool and serial number populated here. So you can find that data and information on the side of your tool. So just quickly verify that it is the tool you expect to be using and setting up. Also, in this video, we are using configuration version 41 because this is the newest, most applicable version we have, in addition to firmware 4042. If you're watching this video sometime in the future post when it was developed, you might be using a newer version, and that's okay because we always suggest using the newest version available. Now that we verified that we can see our tool in the BCP-BCV loader, the next thing we want to do is come down to our Wi-Fi tab here. And you can see there's a lot of variables and a lot of information here, but there's one important element that we want to focus on, and that is the communication port number. And what you want to do is make sure the communication port number here matches up to the one in the PF6000. So in my case, it is 4546. Once I've verified I have the correct communication port set up here, and once more that I have the tool showing up in the loader, now I can actually go into the PF6000 itself. And of course, feel free to connect to the PF6000 via the web GUI or via Tools Talk 2. Either will work. It really comes down to personal preference. Once we're in the PF6000, the first thing we want to do, of course, is verify the tool actually is connected to the PF6000 or showing up in the list of tools. To do that, we go and click Tool, and then you should look on the left-hand side here, and you should see the tool that we actually are looking to connect and use in the list. And we can, of course, see that my BCV-RE is in the list, and I can verify that, once again, by the serial number and the tool model here. So that's good news. Our tool is showing up. The next thing we need to do is actually just create a tightening program. To do that, we want to come up here to the top left of the screen of the PF6000, select Tightening Program, and then we will be actually creating a multi-step program. So we're going to be creating two different multi-step programs for our BCV-RE tool that we are configuring here. The first one is a tightening program. In order to create a tightening program, in the steps list, you need to scroll all the way down almost to the bottom, and you'll see the option for clutch. So you will drag and drop clutch to the center here, and it will auto-expand and give you this menu of options. First and foremost, you can of course name it. That is totally dependent on whether or not you would like to. It is not mandatory to name this. Also, two really important elements to point out here. One is the final speed. You can actually program the final speed for your BCV-RE in the PF6000, which is really fantastic because historically you could only program speed for these tools with the speed setting unit. So now we have two options. We can either do it via this speed setting unit or via the program in the PF6000. Also, another element you can consider generating here is the rehit as well. So you can enable or disable rehit, and then simply if you do enable rehit, you have to select the angle that's best for the application where you would like to identify rehits, and then enter that value here. Lastly, in the tightening program, you want to go into the properties and just make sure you select the maximum torque that the tool is capable of that you're using. Once you've done this, the next thing we need to do is go back to the main page for our multi-step programs, and we're going to create one more. We're going to illustrate how to create a loosening program as well. So to create the loosening program, you will scroll all the way down in steps again to near the bottom, And right below where we saw clutch, you will see the clutch loosening program. So again, drag and drop that to the center. It will automatically expand this, and you can see a couple different elements that you can change. Again, you can name it. You can also choose your step category, but most importantly, you want to verify that speed of that loosening program. So we can see here, I have mine set to 400 RPM. Again, this will be application dependent. And then once more, we want to verify the max torque capability of the tool for this specific multi-step program. So again, you can see I'm using the same tool, so the max torque is still 15 Newton meters in my case. Now we can go back to the main screen of the PF6000 because we have verified our tool is connected and we have created a tightening program. The next thing we want to do, and the final thing, is we want to come into our virtual station. Once we are in our virtual station, we need to verify we're using the appropriate virtual station type. In our case, using a BCV and a BCP-RE tool, the right type of virtual station to use is a batch virtual station. So you can see here I have selected my batch control virtual station. The next thing we want to do is choose the tool we would like to use for the job. So we can see here, once more, I'm using the same tool based on the same serial number. And then ultimately, we want to go ahead and choose that task or that multi-step program that we just created. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and choose my BCV tightening program. Now that I've done this and I have everything assigned to the appropriate virtual station, we want to verify it all works. And in order to verify everything works appropriately, we want to come in to the results viewer and just perform a rundown. And once you perform the rundown, you will get a green box verifying everything is okay or not okay, meaning it falls within your specifications. And keep in mind, you will only see a tightening okay, as we see here. For example, you will not actually get torque results because the BCV and the BCP-RE tools are only okay reporting tools. So that concludes today's video on connecting the BCV-RE and the BCP-RE to a PF6000. If you have any further questions, reach out to your local rep, and thank you for watching.